So today I wanted to touch on relationships and friendships. That's always a fun one, isn't it? so recently I stopped being friends with someone. Stopped being friends with a pagan. So basically we had a great friendship, man. Like it wasn't very long, but this new person came into my life and she was like super cool, hung out loads of times. And we got into a situation where she did not appreciate something I did. And I guess she was fair because I kind of did some sucker thing. But the issue, and that would have been fine if she checked me on it, but she didn't check me on it. She acted funny for a few days, and then suddenly, when I called her out on it, she she acted as if no, she told me this were my first strike. And guys, if anyone ever tells you this ain't your first strike, yeah, run. Run to the hills because that person is toxic. Toxic. You know what it is, yeah? It's like when you're in a friendship, yeah, the problem is like you should never not know how your friend feels about you. That is rule number one. You know, if you have an issue with me, that's cool, but you call me up on it, and that same way I'll call you up on it. Don't ever have a friend that is just behind your back, just resentment, having some sort of feelings, and just not telling you, just giving you strikes. So yeah, that's just a little story of of a friendship gone bad. But that talks on a bigger thing because friendships these days are so strange, you know, because my friends, majority of my friends, I've been friends with for over a decade, and I love them, and I'm pretty sure they love me. It's almost a family situation, is, and we're all different races, you know, we're all different backgrounds, but we all love each other. And I feel like that's what a friendship is supposed to be. We ain't perfect, but we're friends, you know. And going around as I got older, I've noticed a lot of different can I even call them friendships? I've noticed a lot of different situations where there's a lot of jealousy and there's a lot of envy and hate that's disguised and it don't come out till later. And all I would say on that is like when you choose a friend or a relationship or anything, you really got to watch what that person does, you know, and you really got to call out any red flags there and then. And you know what? Call it out out of love, you know, like not on a straight, yo, like be like, yo, like, why'd you do that, man? Like, see, the thing about relationships is they're a tricky one nowadays, aren't they? They're so tricky because it's like you see so much ideas of, you know, relationship goals. Then a few months or a few years, they broke up. They were your relationship goals, but now they're over. Like, what was the most recent one? Cardi B and Offset. You know how many people said they were relationship goals, bro? You know how many people were like, yes, they are, mm-mm, and now they're broken up. Like, I remember, like, watching her Instagram video, and it was Offset's birthday, and I think Cardi must have given him, like, 500,000 cash. Like, she took it out of the fridge and gave it to him. And everyone was like, bro, like that's crazy, that's wifey, blah blah. And they still divorced it. And like I'm not laughing because it's like their relationship is a joke, like because it's not a joke, man. I'm sure they loved each other. I'm laughing because it's just like how people view relationships nowadays. Like everyone views it for the image, you know. Not everyone, but a majority of people view it for the image, you know. They want the idea and they want the concept of a great relationship, but they don't necessarily want to have a great relationship themselves, you know, because they really they don't. And I have to shout out Sideman for this because I follow him on Instagram and he broke it down. He said most people don't have the mental, no, the emotional stamina to wait for the right person and be in a relationship. Because let me break it down to you, kids. A real relationship is supposed to be forever. You know, you meet the love of your life and you get together. You have your issues, you have your problems, but you communicate it and you work through it. And then you live forever, you know, probably have some kids, and then you die. That's what a real relationship is. A real relationship ain't like 2 months, 3 weeks, 6 years. That's not it's not what it meant to be. Like I get we all have issues and we all have, you know, mess ups and, you know, we grow apart and I understand that. And we've all gone through it. I've gone through it. But that's not the ideal relationship, is it? You know, you don't want to fall in love and then leave in a couple of years. You don't want to grow apart. That's never the goal. That's never the aim. These are just situations that happened, you know? So, yeah, like I remember there was, even my personal situation, like, nah, I wasn't my my boy's personal situation. So, he liked this girl and, they've been on and off for years. Like, they've had their own situation, but they fought a lot. Like they fought. Like this guy would say it's the craziest stuff to this girl. Like I'm telling you, the meanest stuff. And it's not because he's an evil guy. It's just because he's going through his own situations and he just don't know how to communicate it. So he just goes off on this girl all the time. And this girl ain't the best at handling stuff, you know. She disappears a lot, you know. She disappears a lot when it gets a bit too overwhelming, which I guess isn't the worst thing to do. And you see, the thing is, when I look at those two, I see them as a great couple. Even though they fight and they have issues, I think they generally care about each other and they look like they generally belong to each other. But you see, the issue with them is they don't have a level of communication. They can't just sit down and talk about their issues. So they don't work out. They're always fighting. And when they're fighting, they're airing each other. They're ghosting each other. So it's just like, what is that? Relationships such a tricky thing. I wish there was like even for friendships and relationships are such a tricky thing because I wish there was like a book where you from young you could just read it and just understand what it is you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to move. Because I can't lie, when I was younger, I did not know what I was supposed to do. You know, I did not know what decision I was supposed to make. You know, I always just didn't know, man. Like it's hard to really understand why it is you do things or why a person does things to you. And when their feelings involved, everything's hiked up to 1,000, you know. Everything's always blown out of proportion, you know. Something that you probably wouldn't let it slide if you weren't emotionally invested. You're not going to let slide now. There's a lot of pride involved. And I think my takeaway and what I really want people to get from this is that you don't no relationship's perfect in it. No friendship's perfect. But as long as you genuinely have love for the person and that love is mutual and you're willing to communicate, then you guys would be all right. But communicating is definitely the key, man. Yeah. But that's it for me. That's all I got, fam. Just talking my things, you get me?